I saw a few things today, and there was some people going on about, oh yeah, this has no intrinsic value, this has no intrinsic value. And what you realise is people just throw around all these things and they don't even look into the meanings of what these things are. The only things that really have intrinsic value, is the air we breathe, the air we breathe, basic food to function as a human being. Your life, I suppose, your life energy, they are things with true intrinsic value. When everyone goes on about, gold has intrinsic value and this has intrinsic value. No, none of those have intrinsic value. They have value you have given them based on beliefs, but they don't really have any intrinsic value. They are just all of these things that people are saying now that have intrinsic value. They are given value by creating a storyline to them. Gold has a value because you've given it value. You could have dug up a turd hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, and gone, this has value, and enough people bought it for long enough, it would have value. The reason why gold has value, because it's a metal that looks shiny, that doesn't break down everything else, and you can mould and make things out of it. So we've given it value. But what I mean is, when people say things that have intrinsic value, that doesn't have intrinsic value. I'll give you an ounce of gold, then cut off your fucking air supply. What has value? Again, for example, I drop you in the desert tomorrow and you walk 6 miles across the desert. I turn up and say, here's a bag of gold worth £1 million, or here's a litre of water. What has more value in that moment? Are you going to take the gold and then die in the next 4 steps, or are you going to take the water? So in that moment, what has true intrinsic value? What has true intrinsic value is the water, not the fucking thing. The same as if I said, here's 6 million kilos of gold, but I'm going to cut your air supply off. What has the intrinsic value in that moment? The gold? Of course it fucking doesn't. Your air does. Because you'll die. Over a long enough period, without air, you will die. So that gold has no intrinsic value. It has a value we've given it. And that's the thing. We get confused of what value really is. And you've only got to put certain circumstances into your life to see the true value, what actually has intrinsic value. Again, I drop you in the desert, and let you walk the desert, and then I pull up in a Jeep full of whatever you want, full of whatever value you want to give to anything. So I've got 6 litres of water and some food, or whatever it is, and on the other side I've got rubies and diamonds, and you have to choose one. You're not going to choose the rubies and diamonds, you're going to choose the water, because that has the true intrinsic value, because that is what will keep you alive. So again, we must have, when people say that has intrinsic value, no it fucking doesn't. It has a value based on a belief that enough people have bought into. So we have to understand what value actually is. And when you can understand what value is, you're a lot less likely to be manipulated by people, by manoeuvred by people, by caught up by the shiny objects that people do. By get caught up in people's bullshit and storylines. When you understand